fact that Dust 2 is a very aim-based map.
Pretty much so. And Knife will have started soon enough. Well, has already finished, excuse me. Endpoint will be starting on the CT side as Big, Big, I think this actually favors them, if I'm honest. I think being on the T side, being the aggressors in this case to kick it off is actually going to give them quite a little bit of a bonus. And we usually don't say this. As maps go, Dust 2 definitely favors T side in my mind. It's for me it's 55 to 45%, something like that, T side wise. Maybe a bit better statistically if we look at details, but overall, if you can get the ball rolling as the terrorist and really just put it all out there, it's going to be so hard for any CT team at all to counteract, because money is going to be lacking, because you're going to be having little amounts of utility. The ops are going to be scarce, and if you can't shut down the earliest plays, then you're kind of caught in a loop. And right now, Big, well, it is going to be the pistol that kicks it off through a short push. All 5 men gathering the storm as they're looking to push on forward. Robin, the only one that's really holding the line, and he's already in a very exposed position. One shot brings him down to, you know, low HP. That's it. He cannot engage any further. And here comes the commitment, the smoke into CT. And here comes the play.
Do prefer this from Robin. Pulls back, ensures that it keeps at least the 5-on-5 while that bomb is looking to go down. Thomas taking a tap though. This Tech 9 looking to be ruthless. Only gets away with the one though. Crucial on the corner, held nicely by Tizian though. The Glock's looking to overpower, and overpower they do. Thomas, last man alive here to start the pistol round. Big off to a beautiful start. Able to get that pistol on the board. 4 players kept alive. Most importantly, that plant goes down as well. Plenty of cash for the next round. Endpoint, they will be taking that force buy though. Expected from this squad. We saw them do that very recently as well in the previous games that we saw from them. Big on the other hand though, into those rifles, into the utility. They'll be bagging themselves the most likely second round and the third to follow as well. We know this is quite common. But Endpoint looking to put up a bit of a fight here with the pistols. We have seen how precarious these pistols can be in the second round here. Very, very cautious is the approach that Big will have to take. They've gone for long though, which against the Eagles is probably one of the better approaches. Short would have been a strange commitment. B, you don't really want to be pressing the closer angles, so you want to keep the distance. A long exactly perfect for that, so they will just take that slower approach, allow the scout to clear the main angles, take the advancement up toward long when they do feel it's safe. You've got Zentaris holding the top mid flank as well, so everything should be under control here. Big just slow walking their way up to the site. Smoke down to at least give Robin that little bit of maybe a one-way to work with, but not getting anything off of the back of it yet. Big very cautious in this round, and I like the way they're approaching this. Then they are being incredibly thorough at this point.
They really are, aren't they? And it is going to be 4 men defending the site itself. This is going to be a tough cookie to crumble if they can hit a few deagle shots. Unfortunately enough, though, the kicker is already on the side of Big, and they will be getting themselves the entries and as well as the advantage. As we can see, Endpoint decide to get the hell out of Dodge. They do have Kevlars to save up, and that is a worthwhile investment to keep in your bank if you can. Mighty Max, the only one in CT that's really in danger of dying right now, as both Thomas and Crucial will be making a beeline for it towards the T base. Mighty Max might actually have an angle of attack where he could get an exit frag, potentially a rifle if he'd really wanted to, although I doubt he's going to be exposing himself as much and should just be looking to get the hell out of there as well. But this is, you know, effectively an expected round going to Big, an expected ending, of course, as Endpoint with a force on Dust. We usually like to point it out that when you force in a map like Dust, you have to make the right call to have all 5 players on the right side of the map, unless somebody really goes ham with a deagle. But if not, you can't really change the outcome regardless of how the round goes then, because you do not have those mid-long range engagements possible to you that a rifle enables it. And Endpoint, unfortunately, you know, just didn't succeed on that part. Of course, with the rifles coming up next, I'm just hoping to see the op up ASAP and hoping to see perhaps a secondary op as well. I think that would serve Endpoint very well, especially with the way Big is playing, which is, you know, just making a lot of noise, making a lot of a big ruckus and trying to get in your face quickly. Tapson, we can see, will find himself an entry. That's a good start as he finds the secondary as well towards doors. Very accurate down middle. Even with a Galil, he's a dangerous opponent to go up against head to head. But Big seem to be well aware of what they're facing, taking their time, and being careful in the approach.
Yeah, no need to rush this either, especially in an eco. They have got the right idea in mind. Take that long control again, something that Endpoint have been consistently in these first 2 rounds giving up to this Big side, so they will be able to take over the site. Wrap around from short, most likely to come. 2 players going through CT just to fire off a couple warning shots, perhaps. Nice headshot from Thomas, though. This does at least give them a frag to play with, maybe a chance of allowing the push up to save a weapon. Perhaps spots a second head, though. Keto denies that one. Slightly locking out the round itself. Max and Surreal left. Beautiful headshot by Citizen. That scout already dealing damage. And it will be a lovely little 3-0 for the Big T side to start with, especially going into the first gun round. Like you said, you want to see those AWPs posted early by Endpoint. Especially because, considering that Big, mostly through these rounds so far, have been sort of 3-4-man committing to these bomb sites. So you'd want an AWP just to be covering these more important angles. One playing from carpet and short cross or to defend long, perhaps. One on that B site would be perfect. They do have economy to actually double fund an AWP setup if they would want to, but it is just going to be crucial picking that one up. Of course, he'll be heading towards a long. Does have a great spawn, actually, so we should see him challenging down toward that long position, but I doubt that he'll have any sort of opponent to go up against in terms of the AWP. So I'm going to be watching that mid-cross, see if he can gather any early info. A solo play down toward long for Tabson as well, but no real commit. 3 players stacked toward long for Endpoint, but Big, I like that they've not run the same strategy. They've diverted away from this A-long push, although Robin, good spray for the first. Doesn't get a second, though, unfortunately. Tabson with that Galil again to return the fire. Coming through the window is going to be Tizian. Molotov down, 2 players taking the damage. That's a lot to take. Zantara's spraying through the smoke as well. I think he might have jump spotted to gather the info, but look at this right now. Tabson isolates Crucial. Surreal, he is alone on this bomb site and already being ratted out here.
Never mind.
Lineup, though.
They heard him jump down, but Zentaris was seemingly oblivious to him, as it is Thomas to find the kill on Tapson, then Surreal saving the day. The lineup, yeah. Zentaris pulling up the knife, and Searson in a 1-on-2 now has to clutch this out. Let's see if he can do so. Towards doors, he sees the enemy. He hears him, but unfortunate enough that he cannot get anything done. Big. That is a quick, and a big, how to say, oversight. Not clearing car, and that is going to be a little bit problematic right now. Endpoint, well deserved, of course, that they are able to pick it up like such. They need it. They need every inch of it. Yeah. And let's see if the reply from Big will be ferocious, or will it be much of the same, and just a few mistakes crumpled together into a big loss.
Right, the hard loss to take in that round as well, especially, like you say, as soon as they hear Surreal drop down off that box. I believe Zentaras was trying to sell maybe a bait shot for, I believe it would have been Tabson or Tizian on the back of the site, but again, didn't particularly work out. Turned out to be quite the messy situation. Big looking to counteract that this time. They know they can break the economy of Endpoint, providing that they do win this round here. Looking like it is going to be more of an A-sided split, though. 3 players down toward long. Bomb in the long house as well. 2 players coming up through short to be able to divert the attention away here. There is only a player on site, a single man of Thomas holding. They do have Max inside of pit, but only an MP9 to his name, so a little bit of a messy setup perhaps, although they have drafted in support from Robin as well. One thing that Endpoint have been doing so far is consistently reading these scenarios for them. Tizian, though, should be able to find the first entry. As easy as that, as he takes out Max now. The support needs to be drafted in. The molly going to force the push forward. Thomas does get nothing, though, unfortunately. That's already depleting the bomb site. It is going to be a 5-on-3, maybe even a save scenario for Endpoint coming through here. Surreal does trade the man, though, at least making one. That is going to force Endpoint to commit. Might be worth it as well as Robin takes out k1to.
Yeah, they should now. With this kill, short secured, there's a high chance they can win this still. Keep in mind, time is of the essence, and with the bomb only now being planted... of course, you know, Endpoint had an opportunity, unfortunate enough that a few seconds later, it's Searson that shuts down, I believe, the push from long, and then a second later, it's the shot, the wild shot into the smoke that takes care of the rest, as Surreal now has to save himself and whatever he can muster up. This is Big taking up the fourth. Well, like I said, that little hiccup will be a bit of a wake-up call seemingly for Big. And as we expected, they will be the ones to take charge again, ferociously so. As it's to be expected. As for Endpoint, this is exactly the negative scenario that, you know, I kind of did worry about. And this continues on like this. There might be a very quick ending to this best of one is what I'm saying. In any case, full eco. As we can see, Endpoint with the one rifle, it's going to be Surreal trying to hold on towards long with 3 men supporting him. Mighty Max alone towards B. It's Searson that shuts it out. And this is 5-1 already, or at least should be something of the like. Surreal is there to save it, not to lose it. Okay, he goes for the challenge though, presents it perfectly, gets himself one, gets the second. Surreal, hold on, I might be forced to bite my tongue here. This is a little bit better than what I expected, but unfortunately, if I had to say here, Surreal, you got 2 kills for free. Maybe it would be better to, at that point, you know, hold on for a second, wait for your teammate, wait for the plan to actually happen, and then abuse that scenario in your favor. But a nice, valiant effort, nice attempt nonetheless, and, well, we are back where we started, 1-5.
Yeah, Big re-establishing that lead again. Maybe a bit of an overextension from k1to in that round, just for the fact that he thought the rest would be on pistols. A nice surprise there when Surreal whips out the M4, but fortunately was dealt with by Big themselves. Didn't let themselves fall to a half-buy eco there. Endpoint will be fully investing this time. Crucial down to that AWP, no double this time. The economy not being as thorough as they would have liked. They are going to be getting themselves a reset as well if things go a little wrong here. Big, though, have been playing a very comprehensive T-side so far, almost setting a barrier where they've pretty much found themselves comfortable in this first half already. If they finish on 6 rounds, no matter how the half goes, it would be at least a solid T-side. We know that Big are not going to be stopping there, though. Crucial looking to edge the peak. I think Searson has it lined up. The smoke might have just saved Crucial's life there, perhaps. k1to looking to drop into CT, will be able to. Gets in there sneakily.
It's a B split.
Yeah, I love this right now. k1to been sent in for the information, it seems, while the rest just slow down. I thought they were actually pulling off for a B rotate there, but
yeah,
it's k1to that actually is just holding CT instead. Might have been a better idea, though, because Crucial's ready for it. Double from the back of the bomb site, can reposition and stay safe as well. Robin to deal with 1 extra, and all that's left is Zantara's in middle. He bags 1, but nothing else. Endpoint, good read, and good that they didn't pull off of that A bomb site as well when they heard k1to drop down, because I was definitely sold that was a B rotate there.
I mean, it looked like it. There was a player in upper B halls. There were 3 men on middle at doors, basically just waiting for the call out to make it down mid in towards B. And almost certainly it felt like it should have been a B hit. But in the end, well, the call out was made, the attempt was made and failed. Crucial with a perfect hold as he's able to put an end to the push. Big stopped in their tracks, and we see the result of that. The money is a little bit lackluster. AK's coming out to play. Searson has the op of his own, but Tapsons and Tatus forced to play with pistols, Deagle and a P250. A little bit of utility to play with, at least that gives them some room for maneuvering. There could be, you know, this could be a slow-paced execute to a split, to a B split, whatever they deem necessary, whatever they deem to have the better chances of victory. But if I'm honest here, as Big, I'd be avoiding the op of Crucial if I could, if I can help it. Just a little bit too dangerous to go against him with only 2 rifles and another second failed boost run. And this time Crucial will be spotting it. Now he knows, and well, there it is. The shot made yet missed as k1to comes out first, and Surreal has to stay alive. If he finds 2 or 3 frags, he will be perfectly set up for this round itself. But there's an up watching Searson. He's like it's invisible. He's like the chameleon behind the wall. Nobody even glimpsing at him. And all of a sudden, Big, with the luck of the draw, they take down Crucial without further losses. Surreal gets 1 and then bam, it's back to square one. Taps in and Goose though, good night, goodbye. Never mind, still connects, and it is going to be Mighty Max in a 1-on-3.
It's actually working out so well for Big right now. The fact that they're able to get these rounds essentially where, sure, they lose one in the previous, but then they get a victory that essentially resets Endpoint, forces them back onto an eco. They are unwillingly or unknowingly just really screwing the economy of Endpoint right now. It is going to have to be another pistol round for them, unfortunately. So Big, most likely going to be extending their half to 7 rounds at least. Pistols and Kevlar, well, single Kevlar for Thomas being purchased. The rest, unfortunately, just not having the economy available to be able to front a full, or at least a required or desired investment here of the Kevlar and pistol, but still most likely going to be round number 7 for Big. Searson already grabbing that early entry. The Real trying to tempt fate from inside of that mid-door position was definitely not the right idea against the AWP, of course. But even so, this is a great first half so far for Big. Punishing on Dust 2. T-side is always a great feat of achievement. Especially with this being well, no, it's definitely a balanced map, but always going to be favoring the CTs. Big doing a great job so far. Again, they've realized that it's against pistols. They will revert back to their A-long strategy, knowing that it is safer to keep the distance from these Desert Eagles. Ito just rotating in from mid. Does not want a piece of that pie. Definitely not. Spots 2 on short. Backs away. Gets himself a better angle. Crucial does manage to find the return frag. Those and Taras clears the B-bomb site. Bomb planted on A3 inside of mid. Joined by that 4th as well. But it should be a at least clean-up round for Big here. They've got that B push coming. So should be Centaurus bagging a couple of kills right now. And no, actually, Crucial does manage to return the fire. So quite an expensive round, but a round nevertheless for Big.
Yeah, it's a bit painful to lose a few rifles, but you know, as long as they're winning, at this point, it's starting to become a result where their losses are easily mitigated by a round victory and a bomb plant. Sure, the money is a problem. That's always going to be a problem. But if they're confident enough to handle it with low economy and not really be too concerned about it, it's fine. They'll be okay. You know, they won't matter. They won't care, is what I'm trying to say, basically. Endpoint, though, this is it. If they want to put an end to Big, if they want to challenge Big and actually prove to be a worthy team against them, this is where you need to put the foot down and start shutting down Big entirely. And we can see the aggression of Big is very hard to mitigate, of course. That they are all around the map, always looking for an entry. And as we can see, they'll be taking a bit of a step back, and I love this. Endpoint finally taking matters into their own hands, pushing forward in towards upper B, getting the frag, pulling back, and that's exactly what they need to be doing. Trying to be the surprise element in the eyes of Big.
Pearson does manage to at least get a trade here. Now this is where the commitment comes to mid-split to be played, and oh, the damage. Leaving Max incredibly low here. Back to a 4-on-4. They're expecting maybe a window peek here to come, and oh, Surreal, good use of the angle. Does get again the refrag. The fact that Max is still low on this B bomb site as well. This is now where the pressure will come. Catches him off beautifully. A great flashbang to assist the entrance there, and realizes for Endpoint that this has to be a save yet again. 3-on-2. There's that B bomb site. We know how impenetrable it is in the after plant. Crucial going to be saving that AWP. Thomas just trying to get himself maybe an exit frag or so, but again, this is Big taking the first half in their hands already. 8-2 on the board. Again, economy is going to be plaguing Endpoint. This is the worst part of a first half as well. The fact that you start this half on the CT side, you can't get off to a good beginning. You're pretty much being overrun by not just your opponents, but the economy as well. You're constantly down onto these ecos. Essentially, you're giving half of these rounds for free to Big, unfortunately, but they will keep taking them all day long. Looking like 9-2 will be a favored scenario. They should invest here, though. Thomas can drop out 2 weapons. Crucial can do the same, so it should be a buy at least to come in this round. But again, Big looking very comprehensive so far. Endpoint just seeming to not be able to get right off that mark at the start of this game.
Well, I mean, it was expected to see Big take this kind of a lead, take this kind of a charge. Still, though, I didn't expect Endpoint to be battered as heavily as they are being right now. Although Surreal, the double up from Crucial and Surreal seems to be finally coming into fruition a little bit. And there will be an early entry given to Endpoint. Oh, Surreal, yeah, he spotted the glimpse of the player there on top middle, being Keto. Excuse me, not Keto, rather Tizian. Oh, there we go. Keto and Tapson on long, the collateral connects, and it's a one-shot, one stone for two birds kind of thing. Thomas as well. Okay.
Cleaner.
This is a massive improvement. Exactly what we wanted to see, right?
Perfect. Endpoint finally turning up here. We sort of prefaced that a double AWP would be required. Crucial and Surreal both getting kills in that round as well. Beautiful little output there, and that double AWP working out brilliantly. Just to have that secondary AWP to hold that further angle, it benefits them greatly. 8-3. Endpoint getting themselves around the board here. Keeping 5 players alive as well is a lot better for the scenario that they're in right now. Can finally stack that little bit of economy. Top mid to be taken by Big, though, straight down towards short, seeming like this is going to be a commitment setup out of them. 3 players at the short position, 1 top mid to hold as well. And Tara is playing that lurker spot in the B holes or back of B tunnels as well here. Big going to be setting themselves up for more of a short-sided play, perhaps, although there's definitely a rotation factor here. If Zentaras gets a little lucky, perhaps they can work off of the fly. They've got plenty of time. No need to force this at all right now. Decent utility left. 3 smokes, 2 mollies, or 3 mollies even. 3 flashbangs, so plenty across the field for them to play with. Big just not scared of running down the clock, though. Not scared of taking an execution at this 30-second, 40-second mark, and that seems like what they're trying to do now here. They have Preface short, now looking to rotate back towards B. There is a double stack, but of course they've got to be aware of that, of course, entering into the bomb site. They've got Surreal as that secondary AWP, though. This could be treacherous for Big right now, running into this sniper, such close range. Going to need an effective flashbang to be able to rat him out.
Oh.
The shot either way, though. Molly down, might be too late, but no, Max there for the support. Burning in the molly, though. Surreal does take down Tizzy, and Nade might finish some extra players, but Crucial already holding mid. Again, it's going to have to be a save from Big. For me, took way too long in that round. Didn't accommodate for the fact that they could run into difficulties. But Endpoint get round number 4, and again, it's fairly clean.
Well, I mean, there was a chance that Crucial might get like a 4-man collateral almost, so you know, that's always a good sign. Things are starting to improve, and it's starting to look a little bit brighter at the end of the tunnel. And there's a saying that goes, it's good that you see the light. That means that you're near the exit. And in this case, for Endpoint, I think they're at least starting to see that flicker in the distance. It's a long way to there yet, but they're starting to approach it. They're starting to get closer and closer, and with each passing round, they're feeling more confident. They're feeling more firm in their belief that, sure, we had a rough start, but we are back on it, boys. You know, we can take this. Because the mentality is key here. You're playing against a very strong team. You know that. Everybody knows that. And Big will be underestimating you, at least in certain regards. So as long as you keep yourself composed, don't give into your most basic of emotions, this should be a close first half, I believe, because Endpoint so far they've started to really churn out a few frags and a few moments for themselves. Another A split though, this time very likewise than last time we saw it. Robin gets one, but Keto so fast as lightning sprints out down towards Ram. Keto doubles and Tadas one more. And it seems like that my words are like a jinx machine. Every time I try to hype up a little bit of, you know, the losing side, you know, I try to build up a little bit of a respective barrier where belief can be built upon. It's all torn down with a split second, and I kind of feel bad in this case that I've even said anything, because Endpoint, like I said in the pregame, we've seen so much of them in the past that every time we saw them play, they've improved, they look better, they look more solid, they seem to have grasped at not the basics, but rather the the firm ideas they wanted to play behind, and really got themselves working as a proper team. And then something like this happens, and you're just like, damn, well, I guess that's all out the window almost. I mean, it still doesn't mean that they can't take a 9-6 half or 6-9, but it's just, it is disconcerting as what I can say. Keto, this second kill right here, this is what solidified the round itself, basically.
The fact that Thomas couldn't get that spray down to finish off Keto, unfortunate. That it opened up the round as it did. Endpoint going to be giving 9 to Big here in this first half. T-side already very, very stacked at the moment right now. Big looking like they've actually sort of scrapped away with the slowdown plays. They're going to be moving a lot quicker this time. Isolated on the back of the box there. Robin already low. Surreal able to hold the first, but still the site being taken. Robin forced out behind the door. Crucial beyond the smoke as well. Not able to be peeking beyond it though. 4 players all coming through window. We know this is pretty much a dead giveaway that this site is not going to be able to be retaken by Endpoint. They've realized that themselves. They're not going to waste the weaponry. They're going to commit to a save instead. But it is double digits for Big as they will secure the first half valiantly. Again, they realize they're working on the fly here at this point. They're realizing that Endpoint gets so ready and so comfortable in terms of working out the slower setups of Big that they changed the pace a little bit, went faster toward that B site. It works out as they catch the first player off. And again, it's nice to see that this side is definitely adapting. Big getting double digits off of the back of that, and it's nice to see them just realizing that yes, this B bomb site is breakable compared to running these slower setups. Endpoint just not seeming to be able to control the faster play there. They do get, of course, that full buy off of the back of the save, but just overall a very quiet half from Endpoint. Max, Thomas, Robin, all on 4 or 5 kills apiece, just showing that Big have reigned ultimate control, ultimate dominance here in this first half.
And, well, for the last one, it's going to be a show of that dominance by buying an auto sniper and spamming down mid doors. Who doesn't love that? Although, seriously, he's going to be taking a bit of a left-handed step as the real takes him out. Tizian, what a good reaction there. Thomas swings wide, even tags him heavily, yet is unable to finish the job. And that was a very important, very crucial refrag for Big. Without it, they would be stuck behind the very bland barrier. And we can see that with 3 men gathering towards long, they look to be executing A. Now Keto is on the other side of the map, looking to be the lurk in this position, although the bomb is... Never mind, the bomb is not moving back. It's just being set up for the flank to be covered. And Keto, the flank, the lurk does not succeed. And we are back to a 4-on-3. Big. Can they do anything here? Well, the answer will be coming shortly as they are being stopped by the Molotov. They need to take a bit of a step back, and I'm fairly certain Crucial was spotted. Yes, he was. Tapson will connect the dots finally. That Molotov is a bit of a waste, but Robin, the timing of the nade could be perfect. It is perfect as Tizian gets caught. Zantata's down to 34. Time is ticking. Luckily, there's enough to plant the bomb with, but Tapson still gets another frag, maybe giving Zentatis the chance that he needed in this case to save the round itself. A 1-on-2 clutch. Can he pull it off? The pop flash? No. Never mind. It will be 5-10. At least somewhat of a first half for Endpoint to work with.
Yeah, 5 rounds finishing this off is at least solid. I mean, you take a look at the scoreboard. It's only really the real that is having any sort of damage here. 100. ADR not being hit by anybody on the server, actually. Most having a bit of a quiet game, perhaps, although you look at the utility damage, decent from Robin, great from Surreal as well. None from Tabs, and Keto or Zantara's bottom of the leaderboard there, but nevertheless, though, seems to be working out for Big so far. They will switch into that CT side now, of course, so they will get the easier time perhaps of being able to take this victory. Pistol round would propel them up to around 12-13 to 5. Endpoint, though, we know what is necessary of them. Pistol round is crucial to get themselves back in the game. They've got a lovely B spawn that they're going to utilize. Straight rush to come here. If this goes well, they wrap the pistol round up in a matter of seconds. We'll see how it goes, though. Keto going to be the first and already tagged. To Zentares really to be able to hold the line, and he does get away with one. Tizian for the support. Zentares tapping away with the P2000. Yes. Flashbang's good enough to keep them blind. I think that was 3 players that Tizian flashed effectively there. A beautiful supportive element there. One,
beautiful stuff. Yeah,
3.
There was 3 players. Yeah, actually, 3 were blinded. The 4th was just mildly flashed. That didn't really register as much. But yeah, it was a perfect support there, as Zentares then has an easy job. Well, easy might be a bit of an understatement, but a job to finish the rest off. 5-11, big. Well, as expected. They once again take charge. They once again take the lead. And this time it's Endpoint on a full eco that seemed to be swerving towards that A site itself. We're pretty quick to get on towards short, but seems like a bit of a change of heart. I don't mind it. You know, they have the time to work here. If they have some new information they have gotten within the round itself, then this would be a prudent decision. It's not a bad one either. Zentares is going to be holding outside of doors. He's only good for 2, but that in the end is already enough, as Keto is the last one standing firm and tall. And, well, Endpoint. This would be an opportunity for them to take it back. Of course, they have a long way to tie it up, but it's not out of the periphery yet. They have the opportunity here, at least.
Yeah, this buy round is going to be crucial for them to keep themselves alive here in this game. Unfortunately, if they do fall prey to Big yet again, it's going to be 14-5 at a minimum. Ooh, lower push, though. Searson, be careful. Does get himself out alive. Barely. Keto backing him up. Gets 3. Okay. Wow. Keto does it all himself. Protects his teammate. Only gets dropped down to 55 as well, so managing to escape greatly. Max tapping away, does get damage at least, but tagged himself down to 44. Keto, the solo efforts of him, though, seemingly might have won the round already. 4-on-2 should not be secured by Endpoint, and a very, very dominant, again, further play from Big to solidify that they are the better team right now.
Yeah, I mean, they are. There's no doubt there. It's the 1+1 equation. It's that easy to solve. An Endpoint, you know, they are fighting valiantly. They are starting, you know, they did hope to pull off a few cheeky rounds. But in the end, seems like they're going to still have to go back to the workbench and try and iron things out yet. 13-5, another eco, and we are going to be entering the last few rounds here for this best of 1 if it continues down this road. So far, it's been a very one-sided affair yet again. The first half, again, to point it out, Endpoint had themselves a few opportunities that they did use, a few that they did not, and the result was a 5-10 half. As the T's now, they have a very, very hard job of trying to break the defense of Big, to try and break the crossfires and the overall, the confidence of Big. And as we can see, a few Deagles and a few Kevlars will not really help out in that manner. They'll have to stick together and hope for the best. And I love the fact that they're continuously playing like such, just as a crew, as a motley crew, hoping to get the best out of a round like this.
Crucial does get away with the frag, at least give him a little bit of extra in front of that AWP. Zentares, though, good finish for the round itself. 14-5, final chance for Endpoint at this stage in the game. AWP for Crucial, full utility set for the rest with these AKs. But again, it is going to be down to Endpoint just to see if they can somewhat claw themselves back into this game. Perhaps it is a very, very long road back, though. 9 rounds needed to tie the scoreline here. Good molly by Tizian. Flashbang for the support. Thomas reads it well, though. Good entry, at least. Get that early frag on the board. They don't realize that Robin is inside of pit either. Tapping away. Does get out safely, at least. Searson on the corner close to Car. Will he be able to provide anything? That's the question. Maybe with the peek from Tabson, perhaps they read it well. Keto, though, not reading into Surreal as much as we would have liked him to. Searson, good return, however. Now is putting his eyes onto Pit, potentially. Molotov down is going to keep him safe behind the car, though. Smoke is even better here. Crucial reads the angle well. Back to a 4-on-2. Make it 4-on-1 as Zentara's tapping away, but shouldn't be getting too much out of this one. Last man alive. An Endpoint at least clawing back around, although
I mean,
not write him out yet.
Yeah, exactly what I was about to say. He might be the last man standing, but in a 1-on-2, he certainly has an opportunity to try and salvage this. He now knows this is a B execution. Does he go for it? Nah, he's going to be saving it. Fair enough. He decides that maybe it is smarter to keep the weapon in his hands. There is a lack of economy on the side of Big, so it makes sense that he's going to be trying to keep, of course, the op save, and afterwards able to drop to Tapson, to Tizian even, if needed, and of course Searson. It's a good idea here behind the reasoning of this save. He could have tried it, and he might have even succeeded if he'd gone for, but the risk, or since the reward does outweigh the risk, he still wants to play it safe, and they have 14 rounds currently. They don't need to throw everything at Endpoint. They can leave them with a few crumbs to follow. And they're confident enough that this gun round will succeed in doing what they failed in the previous. Am I... Okay, never mind. I thought for a second that I saw a double up there for Big. That's not going to be the case. And Oh, yep, okay. There it is. Fair enough. Keto will be finding that one. Yeah, not a bad idea, although they are leaving a lot of open space towards middle here, Big.
Keto. Sorry, Searson. Nearly caught out there on short as well. Does manage to back away just in the right amount of time to keep himself alive. Crucial looking to see if he can wiggle his ways, and Tara's nearly spotted on the cross. Might have actually been caught a glimpse there by the reel into that lower mid position, but for now at least they are safe. A minute and 20 on the clock. Good little nade. Tags Surreal down to 65. Searson getting ready for the attack. Flashbang goes over the top for the peak. Crucial one step ahead of the game, though. Body drops in front of Tabson's eyes. The team is approaching. Crucial good return. Now down to Tizian. Has to be so careful with the angle that he takes here just for the fourth of battles. Gets away with one, but Max good for the return. Down to a 3-on-2. Crucial going to reposition, give himself a chance to put this AWP into good use right here. Max playing the crossfire on the site. And they've got a nice little flank coming in from Thomas as well, but it's not going to matter. Endpoint going to be forcing the save of Big here, keeping two weapons alive. The money is quite the limited factor for them here, so they do not want to be throwing everything away in a round like this. 14-7. Essentially, it's a similar scenario as to what we saw against sort of Skade at the end of the Secret game. It was like 14-5, 14-6. Skade able to make it back into a couple extra rounds. They finished with 16-9, as we know. After that eco round, Synopsy was able to win that 1v2 in, but still Endpoint at least making a bit of a comeback. Zentares gets away with the frag onto Thomas as well, reducing the weapons that they save, although it will not be an issue. They've got the money for it, though. It is going to be an eco round on the side of Big. Zentares can potentially drop out a couple pistols. Yeah, throws one out for his teammate. Will give him something to work with in terms of firepower, but at least it should be Endpoint getting up to round number 8 before they can head into the next gun round of Big. Good tag onto Zentares as well, already debilitating that that M4 down to just below half of its health, but it is a long road back, unfortunately, for Endpoint. This is nowhere near close yet. Big got to really make some massive mistakes if Endpoint want to get back into this game. 6 rounds needed, or 7 needed to tie the score. So it is, it's a long road, but it's definitely doable. We've seen it before.
Lest we forget that Secret won with a full eco and a fake stake and a 1v2 Glock run in the end on train. So in this case, I'm not gonna say Big can't win this round, because Yeah, that would be just untrue. With the NOP on Keto, with an M4 on Zantares, and the amount of time Endpoint is taking in their current approach is not a bad thing. It's just every single second wasted adds on the chances of Big potentially winning the round, and that's the scary part. Here comes the execution. 2 smokes to cover the cross, as always, a classical thing. Keto gonna be mollied out of Gandalf, and that is a perfect check. I love it. I love it so much. Endpoint, they're thinking ahead 3 steps, not just 2 or 1, and they are making sure that they do not get any surprise rounds, any surprise shots before they can react to it. And well played, well done by Endpoint. I love it. I really do. The most important part for me was the fact that they Molotov Gandalf, and that's it. That they get Keto out of that position and force him to reveal himself, leaving him very exposed and vulnerable.
Especially, like you say, that Endpoint are now sort of reading into the minds of Big, getting a lot more comfortable here on this T side. Planning a lot more of a competent round compared to how they were at the start, so this is much, much better for now. 5 players kept alive as well. Going to be stacking the cash, as we can see. Set up and ready for a round if it does go south here, but the buy round of Big, not even particularly going to be too overly full. They can get the M4s. It is going to be a single AWP that they can buy, though. Not reverting back to the double AWP, which I feel like is a better scenario for them. Actually, Keto on that rifle does feel a lot more safe just to play Searson as that primary AWP, but already long control to be established. Robin down inside of pit. We'll check the early angles, realize that it is clear for now. No one really committing to long like Endpoint did, actually. They had 3 players stacked on long at one point. Crucial. Trying to play a little bit of a sneaky door spot. Not going to get anything so far, though. Oh, look at this, however. Trying to do what Endpoint did in the first half, put some aggression into these B tunnels. Keto, however, read beautifully. The Real might run into a bit of trouble here now, though. Tabs on the way through, but double for him, making it a beautiful set of damage. Zantares does manage to return the kill, but look at this. They've already drawn the attention. They've got to rotate over now. The A site perfectly clear. Thomas and Max can take it over. They're burning in the Molotov. They can't even get through to the site at this point. Big just trapped, and might even be considering a save. Yeah,
it has to be. As soon as Searson gets the kill in upper B halls, you could see the reaction from him. He tried to go into lower and most likely get to short so they could split that A take. But there had to be either information or a sound cue that I didn't hear exactly through middle, that he knew that it was Tapson pushing through doors through Xbox. And once he gets the frag on Tapson, from that point forward, Endpoint know, okay, so we got a kill on B, we got a kill on middle. That means that at the very best, there might be at maximum 2 players on A. Even then, that's highly unlikely, since if you push B, you usually have 2 players pushing it just for the sake of safety, right? Therefore, you know, the logic behind Endpoint's push was, sure, Surreal might have been caught, but they can easily just keep on pushing long, nobody really to go up against them. And right here, right now, see, he gets the first, and he is ready. Somehow he is well prepared, is reading into this scenario very well, knowing that Tapson is there, and once he dies, knowing there's a 3rd player on towards B, it's a dead giveaway. 14-9, Big is being halted for a little bit, and Endpoint, they seem to have awakened at this current phase. It's nice to see, always.
Yeah, they've sort of made it back up to a point now where this game actually looks a lot more convincing for Endpoint. Starting to finally make Big struggle. Meanwhile, though, Zantares does manage to catch the early frag inside of mid. Able to take down Max to begin with. Good little nade as well, dealing that damage. Maybe a second to come through as well. This could be a bit of a big blow. Robert and Crucial down to just around half of the health. So finally, some convincing damage done by Big before they even go for the execution. They've got an early kill. They've got 2 players tagged around half of their health. Smokes go down, committing that it is more of a A-sided approach this time. Molotov down to keep them at bay, though, inside of the smokes for now. Tabson himself taking a bit of molly damage, though, burning along the way. Searson waiting for the flashes. Spots the first player cross. No afraid of the frags just yet, though. Oh, the head of Thomas just not visible this time. Pearson realizing Tizian on the flanks, though. Great little denial for Crucial there. Down to a 5-on-3. Now they can pincer in. Flashbang good enough. Robin fully blind. That's exactly how you take short. Thomas on the back of the site, though, does return a frag. The same for Surreal and Goose, and still looking to fight. But again, it is the Mans and Tares to come up clutch. 15-9 and big. Seems like a long time right now, but they've finally made it to overtime security.
Yeah, should have been coming already a little bit sooner if you know, they had more to say about it, but they get there regardless. And with this, Endpoint do get presented with a unique problem. 6 rounds in a row is what they need. No excuses, no second chances, no do-overs. And well, that's a great start already. Crucial is going to open it up. There goes the first as Keto falls. B side is wide open. Nobody to respond in time. It's a little bit late already. Xantadis is about to drop dead. The nade is going to finish the job. Never mind. He's still at 5 HP and he's getting the hell out of dodge. Ooh la la. Catching Robin on the flank or on the lurk. It's always nice. But Endpoint, they've got B control, and good luck to Big trying to retake this. They are out of position. They do not have anything to work with. They will save, of course. I think that's the best thing they can do in this scenario, indeed. And, well, that was a bit of a quick round. I did not expect that Big will not put a single player on B after losing Kito on mid. That was just a bit surreal, if I can say so myself.
Yeah, just a straight up save this time from Big. Do not want to be sacrificing any of their weaponry. And Tara's 25 frags at the moment that he's on 24 or something. So a very, very strong play from him at the moment. Still a few players on the side of Endpoint that are very, very lagging behind. Kills on Robin, 8, 9, and 9 perhaps for him, Max, and Thomas. So, again, there's a couple of players that need to maybe catch up, but they're winning rounds here. That is the main premise right now. There is no reason to be worrying about kills if you are getting back in the game itself. Crucial to again go for a mid shot and connect the dots. Not going to work this time, though. Nevertheless, seems like it might want to be more of a default split out of Endpoint this time. 2 players inside of B, make that 3 actually with the bomb itself. Further 2 going to rotate over. Maybe for more of a commitment round to come here. I mean, the last time that just we take a look at the stats of Big on Dust 2, a lot of their games actually they're able to clean sweep. It is very rare that it goes double digits. The last time was just the sort of midway through April against Norderwind, a 16-12. They were able to take. But before that, it was like a week before Spirit 16-14. But they've had a lot of 16-2s, 16-4s on the way, which is a stark comparison to this one here. A great entry by Surreal onto that mid position. Car is called into action, but an overextension as Surreal able to find a double here. Keto trapped in the corner. Will be able to get out with 1, make it 2. Spams for the 3rd. Thankfully able to trade it back. That would have been difficult. But again, it is just down to Searson and Tizian. Might be another save on the cards here because Crucial's already holding that mid flank. And it seems like Endpoint, again, have done what's necessary to bag themselves yet another round.
I am not particularly sure what exactly Xantadis was hoping to achieve with that quick, wide angle on middle and where exactly was aiming to go. But as soon as the smoke popped, it should have been evident to him that, you know, there is a push following that. And we saw him hold this before. We saw him hold towards that box, at doors, and just be on a bit of an off angle, trying to take away at anybody coming up the ramp. But instead now, wide open, wide aggressed, it's just unusual is, I guess, the word we can use in this case. Double up again, though. Big will reinvest. They do have themselves an M4, an MP9, and a FAMAS to make work here. I am a little bit concerned how they will use it, but I think currently the setup seems to be pretty decently proportionized or proportioned across the map. They're leaving the ops on A, whilst the both rifles that are worth mentioning kind of hold on to B site itself. Tapson, he's going to be trying to find himself bit of an entry. Oh, he spots one, gets the shot, does get tagged. Unfortunately, the timing couldn't be worse here as Thomas challenges, gets the refrag that is also mighty important. Is he in? Ooh la la, down to 12 we go, and we're back to square one. This is going to be an 8 take. Let's see, Searson now, the challenge on him. Can he find a few frags to make and mitigate this aggression? Well, I think the answer is not really. He's already flashed out of position, and this should be another round to Endpoint, or at least should being the operative word.
Yeah, save this double up here, no need to commit. Big are looking a fraction of themselves in the first half here, allowing Endpoint so much room right now on this CT side. I mean, actually just taking a look at their distribution of won rounds, actually, it is scarily T-sided. Meaning that Big, pretty accurate as to what we're seeing right now. The T side more strong than the CT side. I think that is very, very reputable here in this game right now. They seem to just be struggling here. I mean, you take a look at, let's have a look at the Nordwin game. It was 8-7 at the end of the first half, actually. They lost the first half, but on T-side were able to make 8 rounds in a row. So yeah, it seems like their T-sides are much stronger here. Big using the first tactical timeout of this entire game as well for round 28. Maybe has been a long time coming, perhaps, in the side of Big. The fact that they've saved 4 weapons, though, will take them into, of course, another investment buy. This is where they might be looking to try and lock the game out here. They've had a good run of rounds right up to that 14-5, 6 point, and an Endpoint. They've been all the way back since. Big gonna be looking to try and use that double AWP setup this time yet again. Searson and Keto picking those up. We shall see. They've even got a double AWP on Robin as well here on this T side. Going to be sending Crucial in for the pick. Robin to hold the mid-cross. Ooh, they are going to boost him up, though. Has that been spotted? Yes, it has. Searson. Whatever Big are trying right now, Endpoint, they're just one step ahead of the game. Zantara's unscopes at the wrong time. The Real going to be putting the pressure on to mid. They'll trade back to frags, and again, Mighty Max to return. A 4-on-2 already. An Endpoint, they are really making Big sweat right now.
I have to be honest, I would have hoped to see them wake up a little bit sooner before Big got to that 15th. Simply put, they're still on the chopping block. They're still on the potential for the guillotine. And luckily enough, you know, they are working against this best they can. Big, yeah, they really are being countered, aren't they? And that's the thing I said in pregame, right? Mighty Max and crew, I presume the coach and whoever might wanted to be involved in that probably did their homework, probably did a few hours of research, maybe more, and prepared themselves for this specific best of one. And as much as you can set up the veto to kind of work in your favor, equally so you can go through demos and see how exactly you want to work against Big, what you think might be working in your own bag of tricks against them. 13-15 as Big is being halted and actually presented a proper challenge. Overconfidence is sometimes a problem. Here, seems like Big seems to be lacking of it a little bit. Confidence, that is, of course. They are just a little bit lost. Every time they lose a player, they seem to lose, you know, the structure. They seem to lose their commitment in a way. I love this. Skito's like, hello.
So many feet.
Mm-hmm.
But
if
yeah,
he was Quentin Tarantino, he'd love it.
seriously. Keto saved Tizian. Using this orb is a big no-no. Just managed to get out with the kill at least, and challenge out of Thomas just to save an AWP himself here. But I've got to agree, the confidence from Big just looks knocked right now. They've had, sure, a couple great chances and just haven't been able to transfer them into a victory right now. They have got to get another rebuy, of course. I think it is time right now for Big to stop challenging mid over aggressive. We've seen Zantara's die once or twice. Searson get taken down once or twice here. Just gives Endpoint that early entry that they need to really propel the round in their favor. And They just have to stop giving that to them here on the CT side. This game gone maybe way closer than we would have expected, looking at the scoreline just a few minutes ago. 14-6 we were sat at. 14-7 or so, and Endpoint have managed to make it all the way back here to a closer game. Round 29 currently being played. Keto holding down toward lower mid. There's going to be a peek out of Crucial. See if he can find the early entry. Of course he does. Tabson offering that CT entrance for this T side to grab yet again. No commitment to be made though. Endpoint playing so valiantly here at the moment. Just not being able to get over-exaggerated or overconfident. Realizing now that they've got to go for the execution. 2 players down toward long though. At least it is a solid read from Big here. Keto on the corner is definitely going to be a massive help to smoke down right at the perfect time as well as they hit.
Oh.
Now there's the lineup. Tizian gets a little lucky perhaps, but finds a double. The time is ticking. They do retrieve the bomb, and this is where they have to commit. Surreal up to short. Keto is there for the defense as well. Surprising that they've not rotated a second man, but still no info yet. So they've not been able to make that call convincingly. But look at the time. They've got to make a move right now. Keto, all he's got to do is find a first entry, and he secures this. But Thomas already on the run through. The spam is good. Keto not able to hit the shot. The time is ticking. The bomb has to go down. They will be able to get the plant, but it's down to a 4-on-2.
And one weak link in the chain can break it all. And Crucial and Surreal, they'll have to salvage what they can. Good night, Surreal. There goes Crucial as well. And it is going to be Big in the end that pull it back. And if we can draw it to one single mistake, there is the fact that Endpoint decide to cross through that smoke on long. And that is it. They lose one too many players.